In the heat of the 2024 U.S. presidential campaign, political figures often find themselves in unexpected situations that test their composure and resilience. One such incident involved Senator J.D. Vance, the Republican vice presidential nominee, during a campaign stop in Pennsylvania. This event not only highlighted the challenges political campaigns face in today's polarized climate, but also showcased Vance's ability to navigate adversity with grace. The unexpected turn at Primanti Brus. On a crisp Saturday afternoon in late September 2024, Senator J.D. Vance planned a routine campaign stop at Primanti Brothers, a renowned sandwich shop in North Versailles, Pennsylvania. Known for its iconic sandwiches, Primanti Brothers has been a staple in the Pittsburgh area for over 90 years, often welcoming patrons from all walks of life, including political figures. However, upon arrival, Vance and his team were met with an unforeseen obstacle. The restaurant's manager, caught off guard by the unannounced visit, expressed concerns about the establishment being used for a political event without prior notice. According to reports, the manager informed Vance's team that they could not enter the restaurant, leading to a moment of confusion and disappointment among the supporters gathered inside. Supporters' reaction. Inside the restaurant, dozens of supporters eagerly awaited the opportunity to meet and interact with Senator Vance. The news of his denial at the door spread quickly, leading to palpable frustration. Many patrons, in a show of solidarity, decided to cancel their orders and leave the establishment. Videos circulated on social media platforms, capturing the exodus of supporters and their vocal disapproval of the restaurant's decision. One supporter took to social media stating, "Went to Primanti Brothers restaurant in North Versailles, PA, to show support to J.D. Vance. The restaurant refused Vance and his security to enter. They told him he was not welcomed in this establishment." This sentiment resonated with many, amplifying the incident's visibility online. Vance's composed response. Despite the unexpected setback, Senator Vance demonstrated commendable composure. Addressing his supporters in the parking lot, he sought to diffuse the tension and redirect the focus toward the broader goals of his campaign. "It's all right, don't hold it against her," Vance remarked, referring to the manager. "She just got a little nervous. But it's a great local business, let's keep on supporting it, and most importantly, on November 5th or before, go vote, let's win this thing." In a gesture that underscored his commitment to both his supporters and local businesses, Vance ensured that the meals of those present were paid for, leaving a generous tip for the staff. He even quipped, "No taxes on tips," aligning with his campaign's economic policies. Primanti Brothers. Official statement. In the aftermath of the incident, Primanti Bros faced a wave of criticism and calls for boycotts from various quarters. To address the situation, the restaurant chain released an official statement clarifying the events. They emphasized that the lack of advance notice about the campaign stop led to momentary confusion among the staff. The statement read, "Without any advance notice, today's campaign stop caused some momentary confusion for our staff. However, Senator Vance and his team were welcomed into our restaurant shortly after and engaged with our guests inside and on the property." The restaurant further highlighted its long-standing tradition of serving patrons from all political backgrounds, stating, "Primanti's prides itself on being a staple of the Pittsburgh community and a proud American business that has hosted sitting presidents, politicians, and political candidates from across the spectrum for over 90 years. A broader reflection on political campaigns and businesses. This incident at Primanti Brothers is emblematic of the delicate balance businesses must maintain during politically charged times. Hosting political figures can inadvertently position an establishment within partisan debates, potentially alienating segments of their customer base. Conversely, denying service can lead to public outcry and accusations of bias. In recent years, several businesses have found themselves at the crossroads of politics and commerce. For instance, in August 2024, Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate Governor Tim Walz visited a different Primanti Brothers location. That visit also sparked controversy, with some patrons alleging they were asked to leave to accommodate a campaign event. Such incidents underscore the challenges businesses face in navigating political engagements without appearing partisan. The ripple effect on Vance's campaign. For Senator J.D. Vance, the Primanti Brothers episode became a defining moment in his campaign, showcasing his ability to handle adversity with poise. Political analysts noted that his response could resonate positively with undecided voters, portraying him as a candidate who prioritizes unity and community support over division. Moreover, the incident sparked discussions about the role of businesses in political discourse and the expectations placed upon them by the public. As the 2024 election approached, it became increasingly evident that the intersections of politics, commerce, and public opinion were more pronounced than ever. Conclusion. The encounter at Primanti Brothers served as a microcosm of the broader societal challenges in navigating political polarization. Senator J.D. Vance's handling of the situation highlighted the importance of grace under pressure and the need to focus on common goals amidst divisive times. As businesses and political figures continue to interact in public spaces, the lessons from this incident underscore the value of communication, understanding, and the shared commitment to community values. The aftermath and public reaction. The incident at Primanti Brothers quickly became a hot topic in the media, with reactions pouring in from all sides. Conservative news outlets framed the event as yet another example of political bias against right-leaning figures, while liberal commentators downplayed the significance, arguing that businesses have the right to control their environment. Social media, as expected, became a battleground, with hashtags like Boycott Primanti and Stand with Vance trending on X, formerly Twitter. Many of Vance's supporters lauded his response, seeing it as a testament to his character. "This is how a leader acts," one user posted, calm, respectful, and focused on the bigger picture. Others saw an opportunity to contrast Vance's handling of the situation with the behavior of other politicians who had reacted aggressively in similar circumstances. At the same time, some critics suggested that Vance's campaign had intentionally staged the moment to create a viral moment. "This is a classic political stunt," one political analyst commented on MSNBC. "A surprise. Visit, a little controversy, and suddenly you have a headline that boosts your visibility in key battleground states." However, many independent voters viewed the situation as a reflection of the increasing politicization of everyday spaces. "Why does everything have to be political?" one Pennsylvania resident told a local news station. "I just want to eat a sandwich without thinking about the election." Other politicians weigh in. As the story gained traction, several politicians offered their perspectives. Former President Donald Trump, a close ally of J.D. Vance, posted on Truth Social, "Unbelievable. The radical left is at it again. Now they won't even let J.D. Vance eat a sandwich in peace. Disgraceful. We will remember this on November 5th. On the other side, President Joe Biden's campaign declined to comment directly on the incident, but released a statement emphasizing the importance of respecting businesses' rights. Private establishments have the right to serve whom they choose, just as the American people have the right to express their views through their votes. Senator Bernie Sanders, known for his direct style, commented, "In a fair society, no one should be denied service because of their political beliefs. I don't care if you're a Republican, a Democrat, or an independent. You should be able to eat your lunch without controversy." J.D. Vance turns the moment into a rallying cry. Rather than letting the incident fade into the background, J.D. Vance's campaign used it to energize supporters. The next day, at a rally in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Vance opened his speech by addressing the controversy head-on. "Folks, we live in a time where common sense is under attack," he told the crowd. "I was just trying to grab a sandwich, talk to some hard-working Pennsylvanians, and suddenly, it's a national crisis. But let me tell you something. This isn't about me. It's about you. It's about every American who feels like they're being pushed aside, told to be quiet, told that their voice doesn't matter, Well, guess what? Your voice does matter, and we're going to make sure it's heard loud and clear on Election Day. The crowd erupted in applause, with chants of USA, USA filling the air. Vance's campaign team wasted no time capitalizing on the energy, launching a new ad featuring footage from the rally alongside clips of the Primanti brothers incident. The ad's tagline? They tried to shut us out, but America stands strong. Flop Pinoy. Business fallout for Primanti Bros. A's calls for a boycott grew. Primanti Bros. Found itself in damage control mode. While some patrons supported the restaurant's decision, others expressed disappointment, arguing that businesses should remain neutral in political matters. "We've been coming here for years," one longtime customer told a local news station. "I don't care about politics, I just want a good sandwich. But now, every time I think about going, I have to wonder if I'm walking into a political war zone." Despite the controversy, the chain reported an initial surge in sales as progressive customers made a point to support them. However, over the following weeks, online reviews took a hit, and reservations at some locations reportedly dipped. In an effort to mend fences, Primanti Brothers released another statement reiterating its commitment to serving all customers, regardless of political affiliation, a turning point in the campaign. As the election drew closer, political analysts debated whether this incident would have any lasting impact. Some argued that it was just another example of the culture war battles that dominate modern elections. Briefly, grabbing headlines before being replaced by the next controversy. Others, however, believed it could play a role in shaping voter perception, particularly among moderates who are tired of political division. For J.D. Vance, the event was a gift, a moment that allowed him to reinforce his image as a candidate who connects with ordinary Americans and refuses to be rattled by setbacks. As one strategist put it, Vance didn't just handle the situation well, he turned it into an advantage. That's the mark of a skilled politician. As Election Day approached, one thing was clear. A simple meal at a sandwich shop had become yet another flashpoint in the ever-intensifying battle for America's future. The viral effect and social media frenzy. As the Primanti brothers incident continued to dominate headlines, it took on a life of its own across social media. Clips of J.D. Vance being denied service, his calm reaction, and the walkout of his supporters were shared millions of times across TikTok, X, Instagram, and Facebook. Influencers, political commentators, and everyday Americans weighed in, with opinions split sharply along partisan lines. Conservative influencers used the moment to highlight what they saw as a growing hostility toward Republican figures in public spaces. If this were a Democrat being refused service, the media would be calling it discrimination, one prominent right-wing YouTuber argued. Others called for a widespread boycott, urging their followers to support truly American businesses instead. On the other hand, liberal activists dismissed the controversy, with some suggesting that businesses have a right to refuse service, particularly when an unannounced campaign event could disrupt normal operations. Vance wasn't there as a private citizen, he was making a campaign stop. One viral post read, "Restaurants aren't obligated to be used as political stages." Memes also exploded in popularity, with some supporters editing images of Vance heroically standing outside Primanti Brothers, as if he were a symbol of political perseverance. Others mocked the situation with captions like, "Denied a sandwich, now a martyr." Fox News versus MSNBC, the media divide. Cable news networks wasted no time in turning the incident into a political talking point. Fox News covered the story extensively, with hosts like Sean Hannity and Tucker Carlson, who had recently launched an independent show, describing it as an example of the intolerant left. A segment on the Ingram angle framed it as an attack on free speech and conservative values. "If they can do this to J.D. Vance, what's stopping them from doing it to you?" Laura Ingram asked her audience. Meanwhile, MSNBC and CNN took a different approach, questioning whether the situation had been blown out of proportion. "This is just another distraction," one CNN panelist remarked. "At the end of the day, this doesn't impact jobs, healthcare, or foreign policy. It's a campaign stunt, plain and simple." The contrast in coverage was stark, illustrating just how differently the political spectrum perceived the same event. J.D. Vance doubles down. Sensing the momentum, J.D. Vance continued to reference the incident at every campaign stop. His team began selling "No Sandwich, No Problem" t-shirts, with proceeds going toward voter outreach efforts. The merchandise sold out within hours, with many supporters proudly wearing them to rallies. During a major campaign event in Ohio, Vance took the stage holding a Primanti Brothers-style sandwich. "You know, I finally got my hands on one of these," he joked. "Turns out the sandwich is great, but you know what's even greater? The American people who refuse to be silenced." The crowd erupted in cheers. His opponent, Vice President Kamala Harris, largely ignored the controversy, focusing instead on policy-driven messaging. However, some within the Democratic Party privately expressed concern that the incident had given Vance an unexpected boost in enthusiasm among the GOP base. The restaurant's attempt at damage control. As the boycott threats continued, Primanti Brothers found itself in a difficult position. In a last-ditch effort to quell the backlash, the restaurant's CEO went on a local news station to explain their side of the story. "This was never about politics," he insisted. "We simply weren't prepared for a large campaign stop, without notice. We welcome all customers, regardless of political affiliation." Despite this attempt at clarification, the controversy refused to die down. Conservative patrons continued to abandon the chain, while progressive customers increased their patronage to show support. One unexpected consequence was a surge in business for smaller, local diners in Pennsylvania that openly welcomed Vance supporters. Several restaurants even put up signs saying, "J.D. Vance eats here," drawing in a wave of new customers. How the incident shaped the final weeks of the campaign. With the election only weeks away, the Primanti Brothers controversy became a symbolic moment in the race. For J.D. Vance, it reinforced his image as a fighter for ordinary Americans who refuse to be shut out by the establishment. For Democrats, it was yet another example of the right manufacturing outrage over minor incidents. Political strategists debated whether the incident would have a lasting impact. Some believed it helped Vance energize his base in critical swing states like Pennsylvania and Ohio. Others argued that voters were more focused on economic issues, foreign policy, and health care rather than a restaurant controversy. A final poll released a week before Election Day showed a tightening race, with Vance's ticket gaining ground among working-class voters, particularly in Rust Belt states. Whether or not the sandwich shop incident played a role was debatable, but one thing was certain. J.D. Vance had successfully turned an unexpected denial into a defining campaign moment. Election night, the moment of truth. As results poured in. On November 5th, all eyes were on Pennsylvania. Would the Primanti Brothers controversy translate into real votes, or would it fade into the background as just another campaign stunt? In a shocking turn of events, the results in Pennsylvania were razor-thin, with the race too close to call late into the night. Analysts speculated that Vance's surge among working-class voters in western Pennsylvania had made a significant impact. Regardless of the final outcome, the Primanti Brothers incident would be remembered as one of the more bizarre yet politically potent moments of the 2024 election, a testament to how in today's America, even a simple sandwich can become a flashpoint for national debate.